All right. Okay, today what we're going to talk about, this is investing for beginners. This is advice on how to get started, okay? So I want to take and break down three things that'd be very important for you to understand, and this will allow you to start getting into the game, okay? So first thing to do is think like an investor, okay? Now, when I say think like an investor, here's the deal. When an investor starts thinking, he always looks out as like, what is my return on investment? Like, what is return on my time? What is return on my money? Like, if I take money and I put it into this thing, like, what kind of return will it take and provide me? When you start thinking like investors, all of a sudden you're going to improve your chances to be successful, like, massively. In fact, if you took the Forbes, billionaire list, the richest people in the world, and you were to start parsing out like what type of professions or how people categorize themselves to figure out who's the most successful, you will see that the strongest correlation among all of it is group of investors, okay? Now this doesn't necessarily mean that they just buy stocks or real estate or anything like that. What it does mean is the way they systematically go about doing their business is they are categorized as an investor, which would be buying and owning businesses. It could be buying in, stocks or real estate or whatnot. And so start thinking in the terms of what is it that I get in exchange for my time and my money. And if you start thinking like that, you just improved your chances of being successful like massively, okay? So number two, save 10%. 10% of your gross income, okay? Now, you might be thinking, oh man, Mike, I don't know how to take and save 10% of my money. I take and I spend everything I've got, right? I just don't have enough. I remember when I first got married, I was actually going to college. We had one child. We were tight. And the thing that we ended up doing, I ended up taking and riding my bike to and from school. My wife would ride the bike to and from work, even though we had a car, to be able to save gas. And what it is like when you're committed, you will discover and find a way. And here's what I know. If you ever sit down and read this book called The Richest Man in Babylon, in The Richest Man in Babylon, the richest man was actually called in by the king. And the main thing he was trying to discover is, like, what is it that you're doing that allows you to monopolize all the money and the opportunities while other people around have not done as well? And when he sat down and he literally started teaching folks, he started asking them, okay, what kind of professions do you have? In their day, the professions may have been slightly different, but not significantly. Like maybe do you work at a grocery store, or are you an accountant, or do you work at the post office, and you could think of any number of professions that you were engaged in. And then the primary question is, since you can see that everybody starts or has a different position in life, you can see that everybody's income's different. And the question is as you can see, everybody's income's different, but everybody has the same problem. I don't have the ability to save 10%, but they all make different incomes. And so when you look at it, like, it's easy to come up with excuses and fabricate why you can't do it. But if you're serious about getting ahead, then the habit of actually saving 10% positions you so that you've got capital in hand, so that you're prepared for opportunities that will present themselves. And so that's secret number two. 10%, just save 10%. It's like I did it when I was flat broke. I still do the practice, and that is the seed money that created opportunities for investing, okay? So the next secret I want to take and break down for you is there's going to be windows of opportunity. What I mean is that if you start accumulating wealth and you start doing this, you start thinking like an investor, I need to get a return on my investment, you start positioning yourself to accumulating and saving money so that you've got money, what you will then discover is opportunities will then start presenting themselves. And so like one of them, like the stock market right here, right now, the stock market, because of the coronavirus, has caused it to take and to do a dip. Stocks that are very valuable, companies that are very valuable, all of a sudden the price of those stocks have dropped by about half. I mean, I see companies that used to be trading for 50 bucks that are now trading around 25 bucks. And what you can see is the window of opportunity opened up where an investor who has money in his pocket and is prepared can now put that capital to work and start making money. When I used to work at a company called Raytheon doing missiles and all kinds of cool stuff, I had a contractor that was in Chicago. And one of the secrets that he would do is he would take every time, so he had a machine shop. And what he would do is he would take and he'd build his product and machine and create all kinds of products for like our company, right? And several different aerospace companies. But then what would happen is every time the market would take a crash, which it crashes about every 10 years. I mean, if you go back and historically look, it crashes about every 10 years. Well, what happened is when the market would crash, because he had the habit of saving and always being prepared, the market would crash. He would then go and he would buy real estate on the cheap. And then he had this new piece of real estate. In fact, he kind of moved a little bit farther and farther out of town because this real estate became very cheap. He would take and buy it, and I'm talking like whole buildings. And he would move into that building and start running his operation out of it. And then he could start selling off his other pieces of his real estate. But he was always prepared for when the market took a hit so that he could take and acquire assets. Like right now with the COVID taking place, the window of opportunity popped. So I've done this one, this one, this one. So the window opened up, bam, buy, 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 buy. And you will see windows like this present themselves. 2006, the real estate market crashed, right? Remember that? Like, it's kind of hard to forget. And all of a sudden, 2007, 2008 came around, the market, like banks were unloading real estate. And I remember buying houses that were worth 250,000 bucks. That's what they had sold for at the peak of it. I remember buying them for $75,000. But I had capital. I had cash on hand because I thought and I focused on these two. And so just to keep it really simple, like if you do these three things, think like an investor, it'll improve your chances of being able to make it. Step number 2, just start saving 10% of your money. You can find a way. If what you need to do is stop going out and getting a Starbucks coffee, that's okay. You can do that. If you love ice cream, you can stop doing that. You can find there's things that you could chisel out of your lifestyle that's not necessary that will allow you to do this, because then you're prepared for this opportunity when it presents itself. Anyway, so that's my 3 secrets, my breakdown on how to get you into the game to start investing. Anyway, Rags Rich's transition. I will see you later.